Hey everyone, what's going on? Sabado and Babe from Agnarchy Snowboarding. We're here on location in Fruitport, Michigan, checking out the Marhar factory. Marhar recently opened up a new storefront, so we're here to check it out.
Hello guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So we got into creating a snowboard company out of one. It was like a kind of a running joke with Nate that he had kind of joked about it, and nobody really took him serious. We were just like, man, it's now or never. You know, we were fresh out of college. You know, we had jobs, our first jobs for maybe a year or so. Just came home from work one day and was like, dude, you want to start a snowboard company? I think we started, I know we started because there wasn't anybody who could offer what Nate saw as his ideal snowboard company, was be able to not mass produce, but mass customize. There wasn't anybody who was doing what we were doing and had the foresight of being able to make kind of a niche product and also be able to customize it and get exactly what you want. So how we got the name Marhar goes back, you know, Nate and I grew up together. And Nate's mom, you know, raised 5 kids, you know, more or less on her own. And I feel like it's hard to keep track of like my own 2 kids, let alone like 5. So she had this silly way of being able to like snap her kids' attention without yelling at them. I'm sure she would probably still yell at them, but it was just, she had this funny way of communicating with her young kids that they loved. And, you know, I can remember a time when we were much older and we're in like a movie theater, and it's like when the credits, or not the credits, but the previews are going, right? And then now the house lights are finally off all the way, and we're all sitting there ready for the movie, and Nate's mom doesn't know where we're sitting. So she walks into the movie theater and we're like, oh, there's your mom, you know. And of course, instead of her just, you know, kind of looking around and waiting for us to wave at her, she has to start yelling, Marhar, Marhar. And we're just like, we're like at that age where you're like,
mortified.
Yeah, it's not really cool to be at the movie with your mom, but you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, so you're just sinking down in your seat like, oh my gosh. And sure enough, you know, everyone's watching her, and then she just she doesn't bother her, just comes, sits right next to us like, here's your popcorn. You know, first, you know, our mentality was think locally to go globally. But then, you know, I think you lose sight of that over the first few years, and everyone's getting excitement. You're doing trade shows, and you've got, you know, a dealer over here and a dealer over here and everywhere else. And we kind of had forgotten about our own backyard, right? So over the last few years, we've been refocusing our branding on our Midwest ties, getting back to that. So that was always how we grew the most when we had first started, because we'd go do shows at, you know, Cabernet. We could be at, you know, 15 different spots in Michigan, you know, in a few days. And then we've just started regaining some traction on the East Coast, and the East Coast has done really well for us. Even their stores have been really susceptible in taking on our brand and learning about it. So the reason why we wanted to get into our own retail space for our own little brick and mortar is to give our local supporters a really good experience, because you're not just coming in to spend money, you're coming in to learn how your money is being spent, right? So what have we put into this product? This is how we make it. You guys got to walk around today and see, you know, all the 10,000 square feet of manufacturing and how we're doing it. And it's a cool process to see. The boards look beautiful, but when you actually get to see how the insides and the guts are made, that's made with like compassion. That's made with years of us learning. And so when you come in to spend money, you're spending money on a product that you get to witness being built, right? And we've teamed up with some awesome brands that we personally have used over the last 12 years. And I think that gives people confidence in spending that kind of money, knowing that, yeah, they make a good product and they're going to put us on a safe product and a comfortable product to keep us going all winter. When COVID hit, once things started getting shut down, fortunately for us, we have most of our raw goods kind of, purchased before then for the year. But forecasting wise, it was looking a little shaky after everything hit. And of course your orders aren't really due until May for us, or mid-April, May. So when orders started coming in, it was less and less where we were concerned about our market share in our own area. So, we have never thought about using retail space or even having retail space. What would that even look like? And then when we started putting it together, we thought, well, we could do it. We had to kind of wait it out like a lot of other businesses did. So that put manufacturing at a halt, basically. So then when everything starts opening back up and, you're getting everybody back from, being off for 8-12 weeks, it's hard to refocus your energy on manufacturing when like everything's got to ship in September and we're already sitting in the middle of July. So some of it was just you don't have enough time to build those boards and maintain that same quality. So part of it was, yes, a lack of new orders for 2020 coming in at a retail level after COVID-19. And then us not being able, once everything opened back up, us being able to even produce as much in that short time frame to fulfill those orders. We still have a great relationship with dealers all over the Midwest. We still seek new retailers. Obviously, it's still, a big part of our business, and we want it to still be a big part of our business. It's just sometimes when life throws you a curveball, you kind of have to adapt. So in COVID-19, you have to adapt or die. You don't want to step on any toes, but at the same time, you have a business to run, right? You have to get your product out to as many people as you can. This isn't meant to step on your toes. It's just so we have toes left. When the retailers see what we're doing, they totally get it. And I think that, it's a long-term game that we want to be here long-term. And if this is something that's going to keep us there, then, they're all for it. So the reason why we picked Union and 32 to carry, one, they complement the boards that we make, right? So people over the past, 10 years, they've always asked us, what binding goes with your board, and a lot of that was when we had first started, we didn't have a necessarily favorite binding, right? Our boards were universal. You could fit whatever binding you wanted on there and just mount it up and good to go. But then as we got later into the industry, we all started riding Union, and they're just comfortable. They're a good fit for our boards. And there are other bindings that are the same. It's just that's what we carry. That's what we feel comfortable putting customers on. So that's what we would ride, and that's what we would suggest for you to ride. So that's why we brought them in, especially for the Union Forces for the good all mountain binding, and then the Flight Pros for that park board or that park rider that wants a really light, no bells and whistle kind of a binding at $159. It's a good price point. And then for boots, 32, we've always ridden 32 boots for the most part. And then we got to try them on. And when you get to try them on and you are like, I thought my last boot was good, but man, this boot's great. So yeah, once we all tried them on, and then we went through their technology and kind of how it fits in with what we're doing and how they've kind of built their brand, it was kind of a no-brainer to pick up 32, and they've been doing really well. Some of the other soft goods that we picked up were Air Blaster. Air Blaster is always kind of I've always looked at it as kind of like a fun brand. and obviously we build fun, right? So Air Blaster, and they make good quality stuff. L1, we didn't bring a ton of that stuff in. We did a lot of Air Blaster and then a lot of Oakley. And I've always had Oakley coats, and I've just never been disappointed. You know, my coats have lasted. You know, they're, you know, $259, $300 coats, but I mean, they're worth it because you can go get a $159 coat and you'll be right back to where you were, you know, next year. So no, yeah, so we partner with some good quality brands that we feel comfortable selling you, and we know that it's going to last. Yeah, so one of the things was, you know, we've always offered tuning and waxing on Marhar boards at our facility once a year free of charge. So if you own one of our boards, you can bring it in. And yeah, people say that they'll stop in and be like, "Damn, I should have brought mine in." But yeah, if you own one and you stop in, we'll tune that up for you here back to how it should be, factory spec. But we tune anything, any brand, any board. We'll look it over for you. One, we want to make sure that your bindings are good. We actually take the bindings off, you know, inspect everything, make sure you're not having any delamination going on. Whether it's time to get a new board, you know, that's just something that somebody can look at real quick for you that maybe you don't have that kind of experience. Bring it in, and we can kind of show you around, show you our equipment, how we do it, where our boards are made. Yeah, and then you kind of get that whole experience. So yeah, you can come in for a tune, a wax. You can purchase wax. So there's a whole, you know, one-stop shop really. So our store hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. So we're open a little bit later during the week. And on the weekends, we're open from 9:30 until 3:30. And then on Sundays, we stay open 11 to 2.